Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy JD. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into the Powerhouse Archetype in PGA Tour 2K25. Now, we know this build is all about insane driving distance, but the big question is it just for hitting bombs, or can it actually hang all around the course? We're going to test it out by taking a look at how it drives, how it handles approach shots, the short game, and of course, can it help you go low? We're going to take it online, test it out in the daily ranked matchmaking online gameplay. So if you're thinking about going to the Powerhouse, you definitely want to see how it really plays out. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So here we are over checking out the current attributes set up on this Powerhouse archetype that I made. If you guys remember, the Powerhouse was the first build or archetype that I did make in PGA Tour 2K25. I have since respected, and this is what we're currently working with. We're up to a 92 overall right now on level 64. So we've been putting a little bit of work in on this thing, and one of the things I did when I respected it is I took some of the contact down and I moved the power up. I did have this down into the 70s, I think 78, 79. And I figured, you know what, if this is going to be a Powerhouse build, I want to have that extra power on this. And then we'll take advantage of some of our fittings and things like that to get our contact bumped up a little bit for this. Obviously, you're not going to have the crazy 95 swing path, 80 something contact like you did on the Technician build. But the advantage is with the 88 power, you can see that we got the driver distance up to 295. We got some of the other irons and stuff like that. They're 5 to 6 yards longer than I think what the Technician runs, or even what the current stocks are on this. Like I said, we want to be able to hit some bombs, hit some shorter clubs into some greens and things like that. So 88 power, 54 contact. You can see we got the swing path just about maxed out here at 71. Really didn't do too much with the correction. For me, I like the recovery on this one a little bit more over the shaping, just because you're going to have a little bit narrower window, a little less room for margin to be able to work the ball and shape it a little bit. I wanted to have a little bit extra because you're going to hit some errant shots here or there onto the recovery. And then here, I always like kind of splitting the rhythm and transition. You let me know what you think down below, but I think these two play equal parts into it. And then for the putting, we haven't really upgraded too much for our putting. You see we got 9 attributes left. Again, 92 overall. We're gonna have some room to add into our putting. I'll probably put some putting weight and some putting rhythm here. I don't know that we're gonna add too much more into these other ones. I still kind of feel so far this year the putting is I don't know. Yeah, I don't notice a huge difference between like my greenskeeper and my the Technician build and even this one, honestly. But you let me know what you think down below as far as the putting and stuff goes. But this is what we're currently working with. You can see as far as some of our skill tree goes, we're still working on maxing some of these out. We've got the power drive on here. We've got the stinger on here. You can see for the approach shots, we're working on getting some of this other stuff upgraded as we move along. Same thing with the recovery. The bunker shots, we just unlocked a pick after our recent outing, so that's going to be another major advantage. I didn't have that prior on this particular setup. So when we got into them greenside bunkers, I was forced to do the blast or the splash or something like that. Having that pick, it's nice. It's kind of like a super flop out of the greenside bunkers. I think that's going to help out. And then kind of the same thing here. You can see we're just working on moving this thing along. We don't have a ton of skill points on this one yet. But eventually, because we do have that greenskeeper at 85 overall, we will work our way down to getting the green reader and having that little, the grid lines line up a little better for us. So we're able to read putts a little easier on this. So like I said, here's currently what we're doing. I might respec this thing again down the road. We'll see, but currently I do like the setup with it. I'll show you what I'm currently using for the clubs right now. Nothing too flashy. Because this was the first build that I used, I still have the 2K driver in here. We've got it all the way up to Emerald status. You can see the power fittings that we've got on there. We got 2 of those on there. We got a couple of the contact fittings on there. One of the swing path fittings on there as well. Just to kind of show you what this thing looks like. We're going to be upgrading this. We can pretty much do it anytime. I just don't like that for the fact that I want to put this thing up one more level. I want to evolve this driver up one level, but then you lose those fittings and everything on there. So we'll see. I'll do it eventually, but I don't have that done as of the recording of this video. But like I said, we got a couple of power fittings on there just to take that driver distance up just a touch more than the norm. And then we do have a couple of, like I mentioned, the contact fittings on here, and then the swing path fitting. Driver, I don't notice as much of a difference on. You can see some of the irons and stuff. I haven't really bought any new clubs. These are just ones that we've earned as we've moved along. You see we got one extra fitting here. We've got 3 of the contact fittings, 1 power fitting on here just for a little extra distance on our irons. And before we jump into the gameplay on this, we're going to go ahead and add 1 more contact fitting onto this one here. So that will give us a 66 for our contact on here. So like I said, you can do a lot with the fittings. And once I evolve these and we get the +4s on there, we're going to be able to put plus 20 onto our initial contact. So we're going to have that up into the 70s. So I think that's going to be more than enough to be viable, especially if you know your swing really well. I'm honestly still adjusting to the Evo swing. We're a few weeks into this thing. You can see the irons. We got the Mizuno irons, and then it's kind of the same thing here. We got the 3 contact fittings, and then we have 1 swing path fitting on here as well. So that's just kind of the basic layout as far as the different clubs go and how the setup of the build goes. We're going to take this thing over. We're going to test out the Powerhouse build out online in the Pro Daily Tournament. So let's head over there and get right into the gameplay of this thing. Let's go. We're going to take this thing online. We're going to do the daily ranked matchmaking. We're going to do it on the pro level. For me, again, I'm still as casual as they come in this game. I'm still getting adjusted to the Evo swing, even though we're, what, almost a month into this thing right now. But when you bounce back and forth on the archetypes, as you can see, we start out here, nice little drive down the middle. You know, I've been playing on the quite a bit, I would say, on the Technician, where that thing's got a 95 swing path. You know, the contact and everything is real high. As you see, we go ahead and knock this bad boy on the green into, we're looking pretty good here on the first hole. And then, unfortunately, we blow the first putt by, and then as you're about to see here, coming back, we miss the putt there, and we 3-putt for a par on the first hole. But like I said, I've been playing on that Technician build that's got the nice wide swing path, and when you put the right fittings, you can put a lot of power fittings onto there, and you can still hit the ball 300 yards plus. So now getting back into playing on this, as you see this tee shot here, and look at that, we are plugged up on the lip, and the only option we have is to try to knock this thing back out into the fairway and kind of advance the ball and go from there. But like I said, after playing on that archetype with the Technician archetype and then moving over to the Powerhouse, obviously our swing path and everything isn't going to be, you know, right on par. You can see a little bit narrow that we have to work with, so definitely takes some adjustments. You can tell by some of the fittings as well, as I talked about earlier. We put some extra contact fittings, you know, swing path fittings and such on there. As you see, we lip out the putt to try to make the nice little comeback on this hole. You know, I think there's ways you can work around all of your archetypes in order to build them up to make them really solid. Like I said, when I respec this one, I wanted to make it more of a true Powerhouse type of a build, putting that 88 power on there. You know, maybe we can do some fun things with this. You know, maybe we put all power fittings on our driver, you know, and we'll put the contact fittings and such on our irons and stuff like that. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to see me do that. You know, we'll just see if we can absolutely hit some bombs. As you can see, we stick the wedge shot in there. By all means, I'm not saying that Powerhouse is a bad archetype at all. For those of you that are probably pretty smooth with the Evo swing and have really adjusted to it at this point, as you see, we underplay the break there and miss the birdie putt after knocking it stiff. But like I said, for those of you that have the skill set and have that Evo swing down, can maybe work the ball a little bit, again, that's something I'm still kind of working on, especially on this particular one here. I don't do a lot of, you know, extra draw or fade or movement of the ball. It's just a lot of spin right now. As you see, we hit another nice little shot in there, knock one stiff. So, you know, you could certainly play solid on the Powerhouse. As you see, we miss another putt. The putter just let me down one time after another for the most part, and I just really struggled with my putting in this round. And I don't know about you guys, but, you know, as soon as I start to have a bad hole or two, I really just kind of speed up my gameplay, and I just kind of want to get through the round as fast as possible. Unless I'm playing like a, you know, matchmaking and we're playing like a 1v1 or a 2v2 type of scenarios. You see, we rip another drive here, you know, down the middle, 320-ish or whatever, leaving ourselves a nice little approach shot in here. But kind of what I was getting back to with the difference on the Powerhouse and the Technician, the one I've been playing on, is you see, we spin it back. We've got a little ways to go here, but, you know, like I said, the Powerhouse is more than just knocking out bomb drives. As you're about to see here, we're kind of lining this bad boy up. It's quite a bit up the hill. We got a little bit of a double breaker, and let's go ahead and check out this putt here before we continue the conversation. Boom. the big fella was fired up after that one. Get to the next par 4 here. We're kind of looking. I'm like, okay, this is where we kind of maybe see what we can do. We're 10 feet down the hill, 293 to carry the water there. I'm thinking, again, we're showcasing the Powerhouse build. We're going to see if we can't carry the water here. We start lining this bad boy up. Again, you don't have as big of a window for error. And you see we mishit it just a little bit at the top, and we come up short, unfortunately, on this one. We weren't able to do very good. I think we'd have taken a double bogey. We're kind of looking, similar type scenario here. A couple of holes later, we're 24 feet down the hill, short par 4. We're going to see if we can't carry the water, do a little bit better than we did the last time. Let's go ahead. We're trying to line the swing up a little bit here. We make solid contact on this one, and I'm thinking that we're not going to clear the water, but watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Off the rocks, across the fringe, and we're right off the front of the green. Just a little chip shot left in here. Kind of show what we can do with the short game as far as the pitch and stuff goes. You can see the windows are still pretty solid on this. Again, this is just me being super casual still at this point, not being able to hit the perfect. So for those of you, like I said, again, that have really got the Evo swing, timing and all of that down, I think the Powerhouse in general could be a very sneaky good archetype. Like I said, if you wanted to really power up that driver, knock some of them drives out there. As you see, unfortunately the putter let us down again. Really knock those drives out there. Make your irons travel just a touch farther as well by doing that, by increasing that power. You're going to be hitting shorter drives into shorter irons into some of these holes. You see we've got another short par 4 here we're going to try to take advantage of. But you guys let me know down below if you guys have a Powerhouse. What do you guys think of it compared to some of the other archetypes and stuff like that you have? As you see, we finally get a nice little swing on this one here. See if we can make it over the bunker. We've got the bunker cleared, and now we're just looking for a nice little hop up onto the green. It takes a huge bounce, unfortunately, and rolls off just to the back fringe. We knock it up from there, and we're able to knock in the birdie putt. You can see we had a little bit of a rough stretch, holes 7 through 11. We kind of got back on track there with the birdie. But, like I was saying, for those of you that have a Powerhouse, let me know down below, do you enjoy it? Would I say I would play it competitively if I was going to be, playing these daily ranked matchmakings or anything like that, or getting into some of the online society, type of gameplays? I think I would probably stick with my technician, just because I feel like I can hit the ball still pretty far with that archetype. As you see, just those little mishits with the Powerhouse here, it's just going to throw you off that much. Like I said, kind of getting back to it, unless I was just playing casual 1v1, or playing with some friends online, maybe we're playing one of the interesting courses, the fantasy courses and stuff like that. Again, let me know down below in the comments, do you guys want to see me take this build, in addition to tweaking up the power on like the driver and kind of seeing how far we can hit the ball out there once we get everything maxed out? Do you want me to see me take on some of them, EPs, courses, some of them other fantasy courses? Let me know down below if there's a specific course you want to see me take this to, good, bad, ugly, whatever it's end up going to be. Just kind of see what kind of score we can put together here. As you see, we missed the green on 18 here. We're struggling a little bit out the finish, and I'm just trying to get this bad boy done. But I really enjoy playing on the archetype, but like I said, I don't think I would play it in any type of a competitive game mode if I was going to try to be serious. If I was trying to play like one of the actual daily tournaments or the weekly tournaments or one of the online society ones, just playing casually, whether it be, like I said, with my friends or 1v1, the Powerhouse can be a very good archetype, a very fun archetype. Again, for those of you that I keep coming back to this, a little bit better with the sticks, this might be a great archetype for you guys. But again, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this gameplay here. I'm trying to see if we can't make a little up and down, and of course putter kind of failed me, the chip shot kind of failed me on this last one. But just again, my general overview for this one, the archetype, the Powerhouse is a very solid archetype. It is a very fun archetype to play on, just trying to see how far you can hit the ball out there. Would I suggest it for online competitive game modes? No. So that's kind of the long-winded roundabout answer for me talking about this, but this has been your boy JD. Let me know what you guys want to see in upcoming videos down below. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.